From hitmakers to hustlers, the streets of Harlem have long produced legends. However, few stories have a greater impact than the tale of Jim Jones and Max B, what started out as a friendship, based on loyalty and music, turned into one of the most bizarre and tumultuous rivalries in hip-hop history.
Got him in his drive already. I don't owe nothing. He got all his songs already. How you think he got so hot? Came out with all them tapes. I did that. I put them hooks together. I made incredible music. All he did was rhyme 16s.
Well, you know,
I made incredible. I made the hooks. I made the melodies.
Yeah.
I made the shit, dog. I'm the man.
Harlem was humming when Max got out. The city was under the control of the diplomats led by Cameron, Jules, Santana, and Jim Jones. Chokehold. The distinct glitter and swagger that Harlem was known for permeated the streets. Max connected with Jim Jones via Cam, and everything changed after that. Max was more than just a rapper vying for attention. He was the epitome of Harlem. He stood out because of the profound arrogance in his voice, which was full of melody and agony. It appeared as though Harlem was going to deliver another superstar when he signed with Jim's Bird Gang label.
Right around that time, Max B gets found guilty on 9 of 11 counts, including felony murder. And he gets sentenced to, was it 75 years?
Yeah, 70.
There was no denying the chemistry. Collaborating with the producer Dame Grease in 2006, Max B released $1 Million Baby, one of the city's most famous records. It was a movement rather than merely a mixtape. The streets were mesmerized by his aura, voice, and brazen demeanor. It was palpable to all. Max B was next, but the fissures appeared as quickly as he climbed. Money, loyalty, and ego were already tearing the squad apart behind the scenes. Jim thought he was carrying the company on his back, while Max felt his efforts weren't valued.
Originally, you were sentenced to 75 years, but then last July, you said you got reduced to 20 years and then to 12 years.
What began as a sibling relationship developed into an unseen, slow-burning antagonism, arriving as the world applauded Bird Gang's achievements. The conflict between its two main members was subtly escalating to a dangerous level. Harlem, which was renowned for its allegiance to both, was split. One side supported the diplomat's skillful use of power. The other was captivated by Max's unadulterated charm. These private arguments quickly came to light. Whispers in the nooks of Harlem, subtle. Interviews and shots and discreet jabs and lyrics all contributed to the rumors that something wasn't quite right. Nobody was aware that this was more than a label dispute. It was intimate. There were rumors going around about events being canceled, money being withheld, and egos being damaged. And betrayal appeared somewhere in the midst of all that mayhem. The streets began to discuss a plot, violence, and a woman who was central to the rift. Soon after, that conversation became one of the most notorious incidents in the history of Harlem music. The now famous Fort Lee heist case marked a turning point, a moment that would permanently alter Max B's life and ruin his friendship with Jim Jones. It began with rumors that Max had been enmeshed in something out of control and unrelated to music. People close to Max and his then-girlfriend were allegedly involved in the robbery, which was reportedly a setup gone bad.
Is Max B, aka Max Bigavell. We know Bigavell stands for Big Jig and Pac, right? But where did the name...
Machiavelli, baby.
Yeah.
Big Jig and Machiavelli.
It all began the morning of September 22nd at the Fort Lee Holiday Inn. Police are called there after a man is shot to death. The victim, David Taylor from Florida, was staying in room 2.
The strategy was meant to be straightforward and quick to implement. However, nothing remains straightforward when treason and greed coexist. Violence erupted in the confusion. Tragedy marked the end of the evening, and the consequences were felt right away. Max's name was all over the news, and all of a sudden, his burgeoning career was collapsing more quickly than anyone could have predicted. The accusations were startling. Allegations of a plot involving an attack, hotel robbery, and other incidents. The authorities presented Max as the ringleader, even though he denied planning the incident. Jim Jones, who used to refer to Max as his brother, said nothing. Some people found great meaning in that silence. In Harlem, rumors circulate quickly. Tales of treachery, jealousy, and the role played by women on both sides. The allegations that the woman at the core of the incident had love ties to both Max and Jim's close friends, made things worse. According to street gossip, what should have been loyalty morphed into competition when emotions got mixed up with commerce. The distinction between an adversary and a friend vanished when pride gained control and tempers erupted. Max and Jim's relationship openly collapsed following the backlash from the robbery. The next songs were diss tracks, and they weren't subtle. Max called Jim out for failing to pay his dues and accused him of stealing money and credit. Jim retaliated by calling Max unappreciative. Harlem was divided, with each side accusing the other of being fraudulent. The feud was maintained through interviews, radio appearances, and street films, each of which added new facets to the narrative. Everyone understood that someone would eventually be harmed since the energy was poisonous. Max was dealing with something far more significant than business politics behind the music. Even his attorneys found it difficult to keep him out because the state had created such a strong case against him. Fans thought he would be exonerated of the charges, but it soon became apparent that this would not be resolved. The violence, the drama, and the betrayal had all caught up. Max B's career was already in jeopardy when his case entered the courtroom. He was portrayed by the prosecution as the robbery's mastermind, saying he had planned the entire operation from the beginning. Rumors turned into proof, cassettes were played, and witnesses testified. It was like seeing the real-time dimming of one of hip-hop's brightest stars. And to make matters worse, his conflict with Jim Jones was at its height during this entire period. Max was met with distance rather than assistance. He said that Jim had abandoned him when he was at his lowest point and was taking advantage of his talent while he struggled.
Just enough to get my room so I could ram his shit up, ram it up in there. Right? My window was there, he tried to grab me. So when he came in the window, I punched him in the...
As a result, they are both autonomous legends and victims of their circumstances, making them two sides of the same Harlem coin. Now that Max is closer than ever to full independence, there is a lot of speculation about his future. Will they reconcile? Is cooperation actually possible, or have things gotten out of control? Insiders claim that quiet talks have already taken place. It's not commerce, it's about peace. Both guys are more aware of the dangers and more protective of their legacies now that they are older. Fans are hoping for a conclusion. Harlem deserves it. Actually, Jim and Max worked together to change the outcome. The vigor they brought back to Harlem cannot be taken away by any fight. Whether or not there is ever a reconciliation, their impact has already outlived the war. Because of the sound they created, the passion they showed, and the impact they had, their names will endure forever. Max B will always be remembered as the wavy innovator who turned adversity into music, while Jim Jones will always be remembered as the hustler who built a dynasty out of nothing. Together, they represent the promise and danger of hip-hop stardom. The appeal and price of striving for perfection in a world that puts your devotion to the test. While society awaits the story's resolution, one thing is certain: Harlem never forgets its rulers. Whether they are standing side by side or far apart, Max B and Jim Jones will always be part of the same historical narrative. The story of two brothers who shared similar upbringings, created history together, and endured the fallout from their influence. For additional analysis of the biggest hip-hop rivalries, street stories, and behind-the-scenes drama that shaped the culture, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Celeb Vibe, where truth meets hustle and every legend gets their due.